Never be limited by other people's limited imaginations. I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word. The cost of liberty is less than the price of repression. In recognizing the humanity of our fellow beings, we pay ourselves the highest tribute. Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. Whatever we believe about ourselves and our ability comes true for us. Defining myself, as opposed to being defined by others, is one of the most difficult challenges I face. One day, our descendants will think it incredible that we paid so much attention to things like the amount of melanin in our skin, or the shape of our eyes, or our gender, instead of the unique identities of each of us as complex human beings. My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together. Who are Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King's kids? All about the racial justice activist family. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. The time is always right to do what is right. Have a vision, be demanding. Freedom is never given, it is won. Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, as by the obstacles which he has overcome while trying to succeed. We all have dreams. In order to make dreams come into reality, it takes an awful lot of determination, dedication, self-discipline, and effort. I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Just don't give up what you're trying to do. Where there is love and inspiration, I don't think you can go wrong. If we accept and acquiesce in the face of discrimination, we accept the responsibility ourselves and allow those responsible to solve their conscience by believing that they have our acceptance and concurrence. We should, therefore, protest openly everything that smacks of discrimination or slander. Wherever there is a human being, I see God-given rights inherent in that being, whatever may be the sex or complexion. We have learned to fly the air like birds and swim the sea like fish, but we have not learned the simple art of living together as brothers. Our abundance has brought us neither peace of mind nor serenity of spirit. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. The need for change bulldozed a road down the center of my mind. Truth is powerful and it prevails. I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something. but I can't accept not trying. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Hold on to your dreams of a better life and stay committed to striving to realize it. Won't it be wonderful when Black history and Native American history and Jewish history and all of the U.S. history is taught from one book, just U.S. history? I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is an American history. It's important for us to also understand that the phrase Black Lives Matter simply refers to the notion that there's a specific vulnerability for African Americans that needs to be addressed. It's not meant to suggest that other lives don't matter. It's to suggest that other folks aren't experiencing this particular vulnerability. I swear to the Lord, I still can't see why democracy means everybody but me. All about Coretta Scott King. Almost always, the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better. I felt that one had better die fighting against injustice than to die like a dog or rat in a trap. I had already determined to sell my life as early as possible if attacked. I felt if I could take one lyncher with me, this would even up the score a little bit. I'm not quite sure what freedom is, but I know damn well what it ain't. How have we gotten so silly, I wonder? I knew then, and I know now, when it comes to justice, there is no easy way to get it. During Black History Month, I'm reminded yet again of the ways that the struggle for civil rights is interwoven with the struggle for workers' rights. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Diversity is not about how we differ. Diversity is about embracing one another's uniqueness. Character is power. One of the lessons that I grew up with was to always stay true to yourself and never let what somebody else says distract you from your goals. And so when I hear about negative and false attacks, I really don't invest any energy in them because I know who I am. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. You are not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or who says it. The soul that is within me no man can degrade. I am America. I am the part you won't recognize, but get used to me. Black, confident, cocky. My name, not yours. My religion, not yours. My goals, my own. Get used to me. Have a vision of excellence, a dream of success, and work like hell. Racism isn't born. Folks, it's taught. I have a 2-year-old son. You know what he hates? Naps. End of list. Today we know with certainty that segregation is dead. The only question remaining is, how costly will be the funeral? We, the people. It is a very eloquent beginning, but when that document was completed on the 17th of September in 1787, I was not included in that, we the people. I felt somehow, for many years, that George Washington and Alexander Hamilton just left me out by mistake. But through the process of amendment, interpretation, and court decision, I have finally been included in we the people. I had no idea that history was being made. I was just tired of giving up. Racism is man's gravest threat to man, the maximum of hatred for a minimum of reason. The majority of the Negroes who took part in the year-long boycott of Montgomery's buses were poor and untouched, but they understood the essence of the Montgomery movement. One elderly woman summed it up for the rest. When asked after several weeks of walking whether she was tired, she answered, "My feet is tired, but my soul is at rest." If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. There comes a time when people get tired of being plunged into the abyss of exploitation and nagging injustice. If the only time you think of me as a scientist is during Black History Month, then I must not be doing my job as a scientist. Every time you state what you want or believe, you are the first to hear it. It's a message to both you and others about what you think is possible. Don't put a ceiling on yourself. When we are talking about diversity, it's not a box to check. It is a reality that should be deeply felt and held and valued by all of us. I am lucky that whatever fear I have inside me, my desire to win is always stronger. As Black women, we're always given these seemingly devastating experiences that could absolutely break us. But what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls the butterfly. What we do as Black women is take the worst situations and create from that point. Dreams are lovely, but they are just dreams, fleeting, ephemeral, pretty. But dreams do not come true just because you dream them. It's hard work that makes things happen. It's hard work that creates change. Life is not a spectator sport. If you're going to spend your whole life in the grandstand, just watching what goes on, in my opinion, you are wasting your life. If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. I'm hungry for knowledge. The whole thing is to learn every day, to get brighter and brighter. That's what this world is about. You look at someone like Gandhi, and he glowed. Martin Luther King glowed. Muhammad Ali glows. I think that's from being bright all the time and trying to be brighter. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they have been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Whatever is bringing you down, get rid of it, because you'll find that when you are free, your true self comes out. If there is a book that you want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, you must be the one to write it. There are still many causes worth sacrificing for, so much history yet to be made. The impatient idealist says, "Give me a place to stand, and I shall move the earth." But such a place does not exist. We all have to stand on the earth itself and go with her at her pace. If you don't have confidence, you'll always find a way not to win. Stretch your mind and fly. Stretch your mind and fly. Don't let anything stop you. There will be times when you will be disappointed, but you can't stop. Life has two rules. Number 1, never quit. Number 2, always remember rule number 1. Be as you are and hope that it's right. A man without knowledge of himself and his heritage is like a tree without roots. If you know whence you came, there's really no limits to where you can go. We have a wonderful history behind us, and it is going to inspire us to greater achievements. When I look at the future, it's so bright it burns my eyes. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. You are your best thing. I am a feminist, and what that means to me is much the same as the meaning of the fact that I am black. It means that I must undertake to love myself and to respect myself as though my very life depends upon self-love and self-respect. I need to see my own beauty and to continue to be reminded that I am enough, that I am worthy of love without effort, that I am beautiful, that the texture of my hair and that the shape of my curves, the size of my lips, the color of my skin, and the feelings that I have are all worthy and okay. You've got to learn to leave the table when love's no longer being served. Even if it makes others uncomfortable, I will love who I am. You are where you are today because you stand on somebody's shoulders. And wherever you are heading, you cannot get there by yourself. If you stand on the shoulders of others, you have a reciprocal responsibility to live your life so that others may stand on your shoulders. It's the quid pro quo of life. We exist temporarily through what we take, but we live forever through what we give. If everything was perfect, you would never learn and you would never grow. Freedom is not something that one people can bestow on another as a gift. Thy claim it as your own and none can keep it from them. I had to make my own living and my own opportunity, but I made it. Don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them. The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them. I had reasoned this out in my mind. There was one of two things I had a right to, liberty or death. If I could not have one, I would have the other, for no man should take me alive. I should fight for my liberty as long as my strength lasted, and when the time came for me to go, the Lord will let them take me. Make a difference about something other than yourselves. True heroism is remarkably sober, very undramatic. It is not the urge to surpass all others at whatever cost, but the urge to serve others at whatever cost. God's time, emancipation, is always near. He set the North Star in the heavens. He gave me the strength in my limbs. He meant I should be free. The best way to make dreams come true is to wake up. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The battles that count aren't the ones for gold medals. The struggles within yourself, the invincible, inevitable battles inside all of us, that's where it's at. Never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence of the human spirit. We are all the same in this notion. The potential for greatness lives within each of us. For Africa to me is more than a glamorous fact. It is a historical truth. No man can know where he is going unless he knows exactly where he has been and exactly how he arrived at his present place. Each time a man stands up for an idea or acts to improve the lots of others or strike out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring those ripples, build a current that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. In all things that are purely social, we can be as separate as the fingers, yet one as the hand in all things essential to mutual progress. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. One of the hardest things in life is having words in your heart that you can't utter. There is nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. Human salvation lies in the hands of the creatively maladjusted. The price of hating other human beings is loving oneself less. The beauty of anti-racism is that you don't have to pretend to be free of racism to be anti-racist. Anti-racism is a commitment to fight racism wherever you find it, including in yourself, and is the only way forward. Ours is not the struggle of one day, 1 week, or 1 year. Ours is not the struggle of our judicial appointment or presidential term. Ours is the struggle of a lifetime, or maybe even many lifetimes, and each one of us in every generation must do our part. Activism is my rent for living on the planet. In a racist society, it is not enough to be non-racist. We must be anti-racist. We must never forget that Black history is American history. The achievements of African Americans have contributed to our nation's greatness.